What is going on, everybody? We are live here once again. As you can tell, I am in a new setting here, new background. It's a long story. I will talk about it when I can, but we'll be staying here for now. I know it's a little echoey. We'll work on fixing that here in the future. So if there's any questions or anything like that, I'll address them later. But sorry about the echo. We will work on it here, but this is my father-in-law's gym, so here we go. We are here with another slate of picks here for week number 15. We are going to go through each and every slate. I'm going to be picking about, as usual, 3 to 4 options here of players I like, whether it's their higher or their lower, just things that I think we can attack, and, you know, I think there's a real advantage there. Obviously, make your picks how you want to make them. You can do exactly what I'm doing, but I always recommend follow your gut, follow what you think is best for your situation. Do not let it, don't go against your gut. You're spending your money. I'm doing the crazy thing. I'm doing full tickets. I'm doing 8 picks at a time because I want to maximize my winnings. This is just fun for me. You know what I mean? The more logical thing to do here is obviously taking 2 to 3 picks, something like that, smaller tickets so you can actually win more. That's the more logical thing to do. But again, I just like doing big tickets, talking through strategies I like and players I like, and I'm here to help out. That's just basically what it is. But before we get too much further, we always want to thank our sponsor here, Underdog Fantasy. If you use my code TJS, you will get a bonus $100 if you make a $5 wager. That's $100 free if you use that code TJS. Obviously, always play responsibly. Only play with what you can lose. And like I always say, go with your gut. But let's get a little bit started here because obviously it is Sunday, not Saturday. I normally do this on Saturdays, but I'm going to be starting to move to Sundays just because Saturdays, things have started to come up, so I can't do them on Saturdays, so we're moving to Sundays. It will be 9:30. Started a little late here because something was going on with Underdog in the relocation. It thought I was in Kansas. I don't know. So anyway, here we are. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into it. So first and foremost, we are looking at Buffalo and New England. This is one of those games where, it can go either way, really, just because this is the division. Both teams are better than expected. You can play the game of who have the Patriots really beaten, which is a fair point to make, but at the end of the day, their record is their record, and they look very, very good this year. So let's just go ahead and look at New England, where they are ranked here. So they give up the 18th most points to quarterback. They give up the fewest points to running backs. They give up the 14th most points to wide receivers and 13th to tight ends. As for Buffalo, they give up the 28th most points to quarterbacks, 7th most to running backs, 18th to wide receivers, and they are stingy against the tight end. They are the best tight end defense in the league. So let's just go ahead. Let's find their game here. See what the total is, what they're projecting the total to be. So we're looking at it 49.5. So we're looking at about a 50-point game. So that means they are going to have to, get some action. They're going to have to score some touchdowns. So where do we think this can really lead us? Hold on. Sorry about this. Let me just mute the music. I'm just going to do that for right now until this stops talking. Sorry about that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and see what we can attack here. Obviously, we like the running back situation with the Bills defense giving up that many points. The only question is who do you trust in this situation? Henderson has been looking better. He is, getting those 60 plus games here, which is great, but 66.5, you're asking him to, basically do what he's been doing. Missed it a couple times here, but let's look at Ramondre. Let's see where he's at too. Obviously, workload is taking a hit here. He has not been the same player. So yeah, if we're going to go with one, let's go ahead with Trevion. And that 46 and out. It's 46.5. What was, rushing and receiving was 66.5. Okay, so we're at 46.5. We're asking him to do against a team like that. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to take that higher. I like that right now. So yeah, I'm not even going to, can I X out of that? Enzo was great. I will talk to him. I will rate him later. So yeah, Trevion Henderson at 46.5 yards. I like that just because where the total's at, where the Bills defense is ranked here. So it's hard to argue that being a favorable position. Oh my God. You try to put music on, and then all it is ads on this damn website. Anyway, so let's keep going. Let's go to the Bills side. Where can we really attack New England? It looks like the place to get them really is either tight end or wide receiver. So let's look at what we've got here. So Shakir at 43.5. It's hit and miss with him. I like him, but look at what he does. Like, he's got the talent. He has had, good things with Allen. I know he's been hurt from here time to time, but I don't know. It's just the inconsistency makes me scared. But if you look at Kincaid, though, he's a reliable target. He's a guy that Allen likes to go to. 5.5 targets. I like it. I like it, even though he hasn't really done it here. I think this is where you're going to have to beat this Patriots team. So I would take the 5.5 there. I think that's pretty solid if you ask me. So we'll go with that. Elsewhere in this game, the Bills. Oh, I can't mute it. Oh, perfect. Okay, let's get the music back on. There we go. Perfect. I'm so used to Max. So, okay. Anyway, what was I saying? So, we're looking at quarterbacks. It's hard to argue not playing May here. At 28, giving up only 14 points to the quarterback, it's tough to argue that, sitting May isn't a good idea. Or is a good idea, excuse me. But if we look at the Patriots, they actually give up some points to the quarterback, and it's Josh Allen. I mean, how do you argue against Josh Allen, especially in a game like today where it should be cold as hell? 225. I think he does that. I think he does that easily. Well, if it's passing touchdowns. Okay. I like the passing touchdowns because even if you look at the opponents here. So Miami's awful. Tampa Bay, we're learning what they are right now. Are they real or are they pretend? Houston's defense is the best defense in the league. Look what they did to Mahomes. So it's hard to argue that won't be, or that's the norm. Pittsburgh's the one that's kind of scares me. Because, again, Cincinnati's defense is awful. So they're going against a Patriots defense that is better, but I still like that 1.5 touchdown, especially get that bonus as well. So I'm gonna play that there. I think that's a solid one for now. It's hard to hate on James Cook, especially when he has been so reliable. But the Patriots are very good against the running back. Yeah, I can't trust that. That's hard. Let's look at the Patriots wide receivers here, because Diggs and May seem to have a good kind of thing going here. I'm going to risk it. Again, this is my least favorite play of the four I'm going to pick in this game, but 5.5 targets seems like a reasonable amount for Diggs in this game. Again, it's either going to be a strong defensive battle or it's going to be a complete shootout. There's going to really be no in between. If you ask me, that's what I'm seeing here. So those would be my four here. That's what I'm feeling. But let's go ahead and get rid of that. So that's the opening game here. Again, a good game to start the slate off. Now we're going into Baltimore-Cincinnati. This is a game that is basically deciding if the Ravens or Bengals can even stay in this divisional race. Bengals are a long shot to begin with, but the Ravens, they've been so up and down this year, it's crazy. So it's hard to really say that for sure they're going to be, who we expect them to be. So with that said, it's a divisional game. Love the divisional matchups because there always just seems to be a little bit more on the line, So let's look at our boy Joe Burrow. Been looking very good since he came back. Already did 261 against them. Yeah, it was 46 attempts, but 3 touchdowns seems insane. But yeah, I'll take that 260. I'll take that 260. I trust Joe in that. They're playing it out like their season depends on it. They need these wins. So I'm going to take Joe here with really no questions asked. So yeah, just taking Joe. Always got to look at my boy DeAndre Hopkins, one of the greatest receivers of all time. I will say that he is better than AJ Green, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, for one reason and one reason only. He had to have multiple different quarterbacks who had no amount of talent compared to those other guys who they were playing with. So having to deal with that kind of, terrible quarterback play throughout his career, man deserves way more credit and his numbers would have been way more insane if he played with a decent quarterback in his career. Anyway, so let's see. 20 yards. Not bad, but he does get 2 receptions. Yeah, I'm not risking it, but I always just want to see if there's something that with DeAndre. But okay. So let's go ahead and look at Cincinnati and the Ravens. So Cincinnati has given up the 3rd most points to quarterbacks. They give up the most points to running backs. They're a little stingy against wide receiver. They're at 27, but is that more of a they can't stop it or teams aren't throwing the ball because they're up so much? 50-50 shot, really. And they've given up the most points to tight ends. The Ravens, on the other hand, 14th most points to quarterback, 14th to running back, 11th to wide receiver, and 26th to tight ends. Jesus. So, with all of that said, you kind of have to play almost Derrick Henry at this point, right? I mean, this is one of those games where he should break out. Look what he did. He only did 60, though. That's the problem. But on 10 carries, because I think he got hurt. Did he get hurt in that game? I think he got hurt in that game. I think you go for, you know what? I think he gets a touchdown today. I'm going with a touchdown for Derrick Henry. I don't know why I'm just feeling that today, but I think he gets in the end zone. It's one of those games where, it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a game where the Ravens are going to be able to run the ball. Rather, they should be able to run the ball, and they should also be able to score with the tight end. Luckily for the Ravens, they have 2 very good players at that position, and Mark Andrews is one of them. He has had an inconsistent year, as you can see. 1 reception on 5 targets for 9 yards. 1 reception on 3 targets for 9 yards. But then he's had okay games, like 4 for 6, 6 for 4. It's early. Hold on. 4 on 6 for 47. 3 on 5. 3 on 5. So, if anything, I like the targets here. 5, he's pretty much done every single week. Bengals give up the most points to tight ends and running backs, so I think these 2 are pretty solid. Jamar is one I like too, just because he is one of the best receivers in the game right now. His target share has diminished here, as you can see, 8, 10, 14, 8. He was getting, when Flacco was in there, he was getting, double digits every game. So it's not something like, oh, 10.5. Absolutely. It's tougher now, and especially at 10.5 in this game where the Ravens do actually give up points to wide receivers. Joe likes to spread the ball around. So what's T at? Is T playing? I don't know. He must still be hurt. Okay. Okay, never mind. So Jamar being that guy with what looks like no Higgins or a game time decision on Higgins here. Again, it's just too much for me. If I'm going anything, it'll be the receiving yards because he's already gotten 110 against the Ravens last time. So if anything, I would take Jamar Chase there. So that's what I'd be looking at this slate here with these 4. I don't hate it. Obviously, these 2, I think, are the ones that I'm really liking just because of the rankings here. But again, go with your gut. Go with what you think and do what you think is best to win that money. This is just advice and silly things I'm doing. All right, Cleveland, Chicago. It's hard to deny the Browns look better with Shedeur. They do. Does that mean that he's the answer and the Browns aren't going to go quarterback? Who knows? We're going to have to see how he finishes out the season, but the Browns are at least giving him that opportunity. I think they win that game if he did not get taken out on that last play. So, I don't know. With all of that said, the Bears are a very good team. So let's just go ahead. Look at the Bears do give up the 8th most points to quarterbacks, though, and 4th most to wide receiver. The problem is that I don't trust either one in this situation because is it in Chicago or is it in... It is in Chicago, okay. What is the weather in Chicago? Go to the Weather Channel. And Let's just go ahead. Chicago. Five degrees. It is 5 degrees, and I know it's cold in Cleveland, but that's hard. And 14-mile-an-hour winds. You kind of have to throw all of this out the window at that point because the weather is going to be dog shit. Guarantee receivers' hands are going to be cold. The wind blowing 14 miles an hour. Not liking that in any way, shape, or form. You know, I'm not even going to lie. I don't even like the Bears in this situation because the Browns actually have a good defense. This is a game I'm skipping. With the weather and everything else, that's too much if you ask me. I'm not a fan. Moving on to the Cardinals at the Texans. And yes, I always have to say it. I am a Texans fan, so I do have some bias here where I look at the team a little bit differently. So take all of this with a grain of salt when it comes to the Texans and their projections. Texans have the best defense against quarterbacks. They've given up the 24th most points to running backs. They've given up the 30 most points to wide receiver and 28th to tight end. Basically, they don't give up points. As for the Cardinals, 21st against QB, which is not bad. 4th against running back, but this is actually a benefit just because Woody Marks is coming in banged up here. Nick Chubb is banged up. I don't even know if they're even going to play at this point. I think they're game time maybe, but either way, the running back situation in Houston isn't as favorable, I think, so I think that is one area that the Cardinals are actually going to get a break. Not saying that Woody and Chubb can't break one, but it's not going to be like a situation where you're playing against somebody like Saquon or Bijan where they're just going to get those touches and just attack that weakness. You know what I'm saying? So we'll look at what the projections are for the running backs, but Cardinals may get lucky there. But they've given up the 17th most points to wide receivers and 9th to tight ends. So let's go ahead. Let's see the projections here. He is a reliable guy for the Cardinals. They have him right where he should be. It is a situation where the Texans, it's their second worst category. So, if there was to be a weakness in the passing game, it would be a tight end. What can we drop it to? Let's just see what we can drop it to. 8.5 seems way more reasonable. I feel like that's way more reasonable, so let's go ahead and get rid of that one. Just because, again, he's a reliable target. He's somebody who literally gets the ball thrown to him all the time. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Dalton Schultz, he's looked better. He's had games where he's been the guy. As you can see, 11 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets. Kansas City only 4, Buffalo only 4. Good defenses. But as you can see, the Cardinals, they are not a team that is very good against the tight end. So this could be a game where it's more realistic that he does hit that higher number. So I'm going to go with his targets at 5.5. I think he can get to 6. I think this is going to be a game where he gets targeted by CJ just because, again, that is a weakness of the Arizona Cardinals. So let's go ahead and try to attack that. Woody Marks, 74 rushing yards. I don't hate that. I really don't hate that at all. I think given the situation and the amount, he got 26 touches against Kansas City. I don't hate this at all. I have to take it. I think 74.5. I think that's so solid. 100% that's solid to me. So Cardinals are decent against quarterback. It makes you want to take CJ just because I think he's starting to get his groove back. He's starting to look better after the concussion. Indy, he had a great game. KC was a good game, but it's just kind of like where, you know, they didn't have as long of fields because Kansas City went for it on their own 30. So it's one of those things where I could see either way. 230 seems so reasonable too. I'll take that. I'll take CJ on that. So those would be my 4. Again, what are the 2 errors? Oh, yeah, because I'm going to remove that. Okay, there we go. What the hell? There we go. So those would be my 4 for this game. Again, as a Texans fan, I look at the team a lot differently. So, take it with a grain of salt, but I think these are all very realistic for today's game. And again, I don't even know if this is going to be a complete runaway for the Texans. This could be a very big trap game because Brissett is very good against the Texans. He's only lost to them once and I think won 5 times. So that could be a very good game. Another divisional matchup here, Chargers at Chiefs. It's cold as hell today. I'm telling you right now, as somebody who lives in Kansas City, it is like 10 degrees outside. It is a cold one, and especially at a noon game here, it's going to be freezing. So that's going to affect the California boys. Gonna say it. As a California boy myself who moved here, the cold affects you. It sucks. With that said, I like Hampton this week. After coming back from that injury, his projections are low because basically that's all they've had. He's hit that every week. And especially with the cold, I think they're going to run the ball. So I like Hampton to get that 44 yards here. And we'll see how he does. Chiefs-Chargers games are actually some of the best games every week. I like Rashee here. I like 9 targets for him. I really like that in this game. Because, again, the Chiefs are still playing for a playoff spot. If they lose this game, they're done. So this is going to be an all-out effort from the Chiefs. Chargers want to be the ones who stick that dagger in somebody who's won the division for 10 years, They want to be the one who literally ends their playoff run as well. Texans did a good job of weakening them, but they are not out of it yet. So I think the Chargers definitely want to stick that metaphorical knife into the Chiefs' playoffs hope. So with all of that said, I think the Chiefs are going to be playing so hard today. I think they're going to put everything on the line. As bitch-made as it is that this man didn't speak to the media after the game and went on his own podcast to get softball questions, I say it on X all the time. Follow me there. I think this is going to be a game where he gets a little more angry. I think he's going to get a little more of a game where he's going to get targeted. He's going to get, what he thinks he needs to do. He's going to put the team on his back, essentially. I like him to get 4.5 receptions. 5 receptions, I think, is very doable in a divisional game. On 7 targets is what the projections basically are at, so I'll take that. I'll take 5 receptions again. This is going to be a game where he is going to put the team on his back. He is going to want to get into a rhythm, try to get them into the playoffs still, not break that streak. So I think that's where we're at. Mr. Herbert, one of the most talented quarterbacks, but he's looking like he plays at Michigan under Harbaugh right now. I mean, that's hard. 202 yards seems like such a doable feat for Herbert, but my God. Jacksonville 81, 151 against Vegas, 139 against Philly. I mean, that makes sense. Philly's decent, but I don't like it against the Chiefs. Mahomes 238 against the Chargers. We didn't even go over here. This is all gut feeling, so let's just even see where we're at. Chiefs 20th against quarterback, running back, stingy, but I still like Hampton to get it just because it's such a low projection. Wide receiver, they're decent, 27th tight end, so they are very good against tight end. Chargers, on the other hand, they are stingy against the quarterback. But again, it's Patrick Mahomes, so you have to take that into account. Running back, again, it's kind of like the Cardinals situation. Chiefs can't run the ball. So their main weakness is something that can definitely be overcome. 31st against wide receiver and 25th against tight end. So that's why I like Kelsey for the receptions. Their weakness outside of running back appears to be tight end, so I like that. But with all of that said, I like Mahomes to get 238. I think he can do it against the Chargers. Again, best defense in football. Held him to that. He's going to come in angry again. Same situation with Kelsey. Going to want to put the team on his back. Going to want to get them over that hump. Keep them alive as best they can. Avoid the dreaded out for this season over against the Chargers. So I like the Chiefs more in this game because I just think they want it more. I think they're going to be a little bit more hungry. So those are the 4 I like here. Let's keep going. move into Washington at the New York Football Giants. I've fallen in love with this kid. He's just very good at the game of football. When they took him instead of Shador, I was kind of curious, like, Dart, really? Okay. But it turns out that was the right decision. So let's just see what we've got against Washington here. So Washington, 6th against quarterback, 6th running back, 9th wide receiver, 3rd tight end. Their defense is god-awful. I thought they were going to take a huge step forward this year. What a fool I was. What an absolute fool I was. Never mind, though. Let's keep going. As for the Giants, bad against quarterback, bad against running back, bad against wide receiver. So this could be a game that just goes nuts. So I really like him to get 207 yards. I also like him to get 2 touchdowns. He hasn't done it since the San Francisco game, but I'm going to stick with the yards. I think 208 yards is very doable in this game. That's just going to be should go absolutely back and forth. It is still Mariota. Sad to see an Oregon guy drop like that. Oh, dear God. It's hard to not like the yardage at 203 when he's done that. Yeah, that game, outlier. He's done that. I like it. I like the quarterbacks in this game. Again, weaknesses for both teams. It should be something that they're throwing the ball a lot. So let's go with it. Let's trust it. Now let's look at the receivers. If they're going to be throwing the ball, somebody's got to be catching the ball, or at least being thrown to. Robinson, 5.5 receptions seems pretty doable. 6 catches, he's done it all but 1 game. I like it. I'll take it. Scary Terry. Minnesota game seemed to be an outlier. So I'll take the targets. I like the targets on that. Those 4, yep. I actually really like those. I should check the weather in New York first. Hold on, let's just see. New York City. I know it's technical. Oh, it's snowing and 30 degrees. Okay. Is it Newark? No, it's the Meadowlands. Fucking A. I don't know. It's close enough that I'm assuming it's snowing as shit. Doesn't change the fact. I still like these. They both come from cold weather cities. I think they can all do it. So I like that. I like those 4. All right. Moving on to Philly and the Raiders. This should just be a game where Vegas gets beat up, or they're just going to somehow miraculously pull out this win. 15th against quarterback, 12th against running back, 6th against wide receiver, 29th against tight end. As for the Eagles, it looks like 19th, 9th, 20th, and 31st. So, again, there are positions here that you can absolutely exploit, and I think it's Genty for sure. He hasn't been utilized as he should be. I don't know what Pete Carroll's waiting for to unplug this kid and let him go. But in a game like this, where it should be something where, it's a game where he should be able to break out and run with how bad the Eagles' run defense is, but it's still something so hard to trust because look at 30 yards, 7 yards. I don't like it, but I'm going to go with the targets here because they do throw him the ball as a check down option. At 5.5 seems very low. Look at his recent receptions. Leave Denver out of it because, again, great defense. Philly really doesn't have it this year compared to that. So, 6, 8, 6, 3. So I think at 5.5 targets, I think that is a place where Genty can absolutely get that. So I like that for this game. Real quick, let's check the weather in Philly. Shouldn't affect the check down. I love how I put Philly. I did not sleep well last night, so I apologize. Hence the Red Bull. 30 degrees and cloudy. Yeah, it shouldn't be bad. Genty played in Boise State, so he should be used to the cold. So yeah, Genty on targets. I like Saquon this week. It's hard to not like Saquon this week, especially what he did to the Chargers. 80 rush yards, though. He hasn't had the consistency. Talking myself out of it. I know I shouldn't, but I'm talking myself out of it. Let's look at AJ, because again, this is a weakness for the Raiders. His target share has been insane. Let's go ahead and just get him in there at the targets at 8, especially with, look at his recent performances, double digits. You're basically getting him at a discount at this rate, so I like it. Yeah, not liking that one. Don't like Goddard either, especially just because the Raiders are stingy against the tight end. Eagles running back is really their only super strong weakness. Leave me with these two. Those are the only two I really like here. Genty and Brown. So let's go ahead, lock those in. Those would be the two that I'm really feeling this week when it comes to Raiders and Eagles. A game where I'm going to be the biggest Jets fan in the world. Jets at Jacksonville. Jets season's done. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's been done for weeks. This team is circling the drain. 16th against quarterback, 3rd against running back, 23rd against wide receiver, and 19th against the tight end. As for the Jags, 10th against quarterback, 28th against running back, 16th against wide receiver, and 6th against tight end. So if we're looking at something to exploit here on Jacksonville, it would be the quarterback position, which I don't even know if it's still Fields at this point. I haven't looked at the Jets seriously as an option in a while. It's not even Fields. I don't even know who the starting quarterback is. My God. Okay. Well, that's going to be fun. So I think they're going to rely on the running back a lot. So let's look at Brees here. I think he's really going to be the only option they have. And Jacksonville is stingy against running back, but $17 attempts. I'll take the attempts here. I think he's going to be really their only option. They're gonna have to do something, but I don't think it's winning the game. So let's go ahead and take them there. Again, Jets being good against the wide receiver, that is not something that I'm like, oh, it's because they're good. It's because I don't think teams are throwing the ball. But let's look at running back. ETN has come on fire as of late, minus this Tennessee game. He's been very good, getting multiple touchdowns. I like him to get in the end zone today against the Jets. So we'll stick there. Thomas is another one that I think is somebody who is ranked low because he's been so up and down this season. 44 yards against this team seems doable. Strange is another one I like. He gets his targets. I like that at 5. These would be the 4 I like here. Those 4 I really don't hate. So that does it for the morning slate. So let's go ahead. Let's build something off of this morning slate here. 46.5. I like that. I think that's just so doable here for him. Baltimore, Cincinnati is another one. I just think Derrick Henry gets in the end zone in this game. I'm going to trust my gut on that one. Skipping that entirely. Schultz getting his targets for that bonus. Woody getting... what was Woody? Hold on. Let me remember. Yeah, I think it's the rushing yards. Woody getting his rushing yards, I think for sure. Okay, so that's all I'm getting out of the Texans game because I don't want to put too much in there because I will look too much like a homer. All right, KC and the Chargers is another one. I'm taking that. I'm taking that. I think those two alone. Yeah, those are the best. Those stood out to me the second I saw them. I like both of those. And the Giants and Commanders, I'm going to take Dart at the yards. That's 8, right? No, that's 7. Okay, I get one more. I like Dart on the yards. That one just, again, I think it's too low. And then I like Gentie's receptions here. It is, or targets here, just because it's something that is definitely, I think, low. So we're going to use a 75% profit booster. We're going to put that $5 wager in right here. $5 for $912.25. This is our morning slate. Let's go for it. Picks will be locked. That is perfectly fine. Boom. This is what we are rooting for today, ladies and gentlemen, at the morning games. Like I said, if you like this ticket, go ahead and copy it. If you don't, make the changes you like. Do what you will. Always follow your gut and play responsibly. But always, if you're going to play, make sure that you use my code TJS for new customers to get that $100 bonus on a $5 wager. Let's jump in to the afternoon slate here, starting with the Rams and Lions. I like this game a lot. I think it's a double revenge game for Goff and for Stafford. Oh, fucking A. Hold on. Let's get another sip of Red Bull here. Wake myself up. All right, so looking at the Rams. 23rd against quarterback, 30th against running back, 15th against wide receiver, 17th against tight end. As for the Lions, 5th against quarterback, 31st against running back, 2nd against wide receiver, 23rd against tight end. You can already see where this is going to be going here. We are going to be using Stafford and the wide receivers as our main plays. Giving up that many points to those two positions with this team is a death wish, essentially, just because they are going to be able to get the ball out. We're going to change Puka here. 11, even though it's doable, it's just hard for me to just go absolutely 11. Let's get it. 10, I think, is 10, I think, is doable. I think it's absolutely doable. Boom, boom. Let's drop it lower. Let's go 8.5. Again, you're going to take the ding here. That's me being cautious. If you want to take the risk, I think it's absolutely something that is doable. Devontae, he's also somebody that I'm liking. I think he gets in the end zone. Consistently was getting it. Arizona game fell out. I think he bounces back in this game. Let's get him in that end zone. And where is Mr. Stafford? Ooh. I'm really tempted by the fantasy points. Just because 22.5, it's something you can do. They've given up the most points, not most points, but 4th most points to quarterback. It would make sense. 22.5. That's just so high. Fuck it. I'm going for it. Taking the higher on that. Now, as for the Lions, wide receiver seems to be the only weakness they have, and it's not even that bad of a weakness. They're basically middle of the league. Amon-Ra, very talented receiver, somebody who can get targets. I'm going to take that 10. I think that's... Okay, so can't take Stafford's fantasy points with that, so let's go ahead and go back then. So let's find Stafford again. Let's drop his passing yards then, just because, again, if this game gets out of hand, they're going to stop. So let's drop it down to 260. That would be my 4 then. they're going to lock my picks. Those would be my 4. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. We are running low on time here, so let's go ahead. Let's jump to the next game. Green Bay at Denver. Should be a very exciting game. A game that is basically... could be a Super Bowl preview, in all honesty, between the Broncos and Packers. That'd be a very good Super Bowl. But the Broncos have a very good defense like the Texans do. 27th against quarterback, and 29th against running back, 28th against wide receiver. Their weakness is tight end at 11th, though. Green Bay, on the other hand, 26th against quarterback, 25th against running back, 21st against wide receiver, and 21st against tight end. So there's definitely opportunity here, I think, for Sutton. He's been getting his targets. 7 targets. I like it. I think it's doable. I think it's something they can get. Let's look at the Broncos again. So if we're going to look at anything, it's going to be tight end from Green Bay. Which I think it is Musgrave. I like the yards there. I think that's doable. 16 yards. I think that's doable. Jordan Love, on the other hand, is intriguing as hell. He's been coming up big, but again, not as good as defense as the Broncos. But it's just, he has burned me so much, and that's what's hard. He is so up and down, and that's what's so freaking hard, is that he can either just fucking ball out or take a huge shit. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the passing TDs for 2. I think this is going to be one of those games where it's back and forth. It's going to be something that it's going to be need to figure out. You know what I mean? It's going to be a game where they're going to have to figure out what the weaknesses is for each team, and they're going to have to exploit that. And I think, again, wide receiver for the Packers and tight end for the Broncos are their weaknesses. So I want to get my shares into those 2 positions. 220 for Bo Nix. Because they win the division. Oh, no. They already won the division, essentially. Or they're close to it. I think a win today, they basically clinch it. Do they let him ball out? That's the question. Do they let him just ball the hell out? I say yes. Those would be my 4. Those are my 4. That Musgraves for 16, I think, is my favorite play of the week, just because it is such a low projection for a team that should definitely get that, you know? So this is a game I'm thinking about avoiding, just because... Actually, no, I'm not. The more I think about it, I'm not avoiding this whatsoever. Colts give 7 most points wide receiver, and we know exactly who we're going for in here. We are going for JSN. He has been absolutely dominant this season. Again, Minnesota game, we're throwing out in general. Completely dominant. I think that happens again this week. But where do we want to go? Targets or yards? I like the yards because, again, he can just bust a big one, especially against a team that has no Sauce Gardner. He has absolutely no coverage. Nothing's going to stop him. And if we're going to do that, we need to go ahead and get on Darnold as well. Career renaissance up there. 231. I think that's also just doable. I like both of those projections here. Now, let's look at the Seahawks, see where they have their weaknesses. Quarterback 22nd, 27th against running back, 29th against wide receiver, 5th against tight end. That is not good news for the Seahawks because they have one of the best tight ends in the league in Tyler Warren. I'll take 6 targets. I like that a lot. Especially with that's a play that definitely the Seahawks are weak at. When you have one of the best in the league going up against that, I think he'll definitely get his fair share. The real question is where do we want to keep going with the Colts? 7th against wide receiver, 8th against tight end. We already got JSN. Shaheed for 30, that just seems low too, especially because look at, they've started to get some chemistry. So I like that one. If I'm playing this, these are my 4 here. But I like these 4 a lot. a lot. Normally, I wouldn't go double yards, but again, it's just 231, 96 there, and 30 there. That still leaves room for, other players, weird plays, checkdowns, and still gives you that wiggle room. So I like those 4. Carolina at New Orleans could be a shockingly decent game. I think that, again, a player that was taken before Shedeur Sanders and Shaw, has been much better, and I think it's going to be a situation where they are able to, compete with this team. So let's look at what we can actually attack in this situation. Oh, God. Sorry, hold on. I don't know why I don't unmuted. Damn it. Okay, it's not playing music. So once it starts playing music, then we will mute it. Okay. This isn't playing? God dang it. All right, whatever. Anyway. So Carolina, 25th against quarterback, 10th against running back, 24th against wide receiver, 10th against tight end. Saints, 24th against quarterback, 15th against running back, 22nd against wide receiver, 22nd against tight end. So again, exploitable matchups here once again. It's just a matter of what you feel more comfortable with. When it comes to the Saints, I'm liking that they can't stop the running back. And Rico and Chuba have been very good. He has come back down to earth from these 130 days, getting 50 and then dropping off the face of the planet. But 60 yards in this game against the Saints, I think, is very doable. So I'm going to go ahead and trust him in this situation yet again. Kid's good. Cantonai is good. Rushed in 2, through 2. Got blanked in the Atlanta game. I like him for touchdowns today. I just don't know where. I'll say passing. 2 passing touchdowns. I think that's doable, especially in a divisional game where they get to play spoiler to the Carolina Panthers. They have motivation. I like it. This man is also somebody that's very intriguing. How do you go for 448, 169, 206? He is so inconsistent. It's frustrating as hell. But 197, I like it. I like it too much. It's scary how much I'm actually really liking this play. So, yeah. And then Tet. I like Tet to get his targets. Rams are a good defense. Broncos are a good defense, but got 8 against them before. Let's just go right back to that well. So this would be my 4 for this afternoon. Carolina at New Orleans. So let's go ahead and clear them out. We have a couple more slates here, and then we will be wrapping up with our afternoon slate and then our super ticket where we take our favorite plays of the entire slate to make one giant ticket. Popped up on the injury report. Not a good thing, but he is expected to play against a terrible Titans team. If you feel risky, go for it. 66 yards should be able to get done because let's just even see what Titans are weak. 13th against running back, 9th against quarterback, 10th against wide receiver, 16th against tight end. As for the Niners, 13th against quarterback, 17th against running back, 12th against wide receiver, and 12th against the tight end. This should just be an absolute blowout for the Niners. I don't see the Titans sticking in this one. There's even Cam. Let's just even see where Cam is projected at. Man can't hit 200 yards. He's done it once in 5 games, but yet they still have him at 200 yards. Attempts, though, 32. Half. I'll take that. I think it's a game where they're going to just try to do whatever they can. So 32 and a half, I don't hate that. I really actually don't hate that at all. Purdy is another one just because, again, Titans are weak everywhere. 200 yards, 242. It's only done it twice in 5 weeks. I don't like that. But I think he can get 2 in the end zone today. I think he can get 2 passing touchdowns with how bad this team is. I don't think that's crazy either. Gotta love the Kittle. So let's just see. Yeah, 60 yards. I like that. So those are the 4 that I like here for this game. So let's go ahead and clear that out and then get the Sunday night game in. Actually, let's just build our afternoon ticket here. Sorry, I X'd out of you, Mr. Ward. So let's go ahead. Let's get your pass attempts back in there. 32.5. Taking that. I think that's very doable. I think also McCaffrey for 66. 66. I love that play. Moving on to, I like Green Bay, Denver. Where is Mr. Musgraves again? 16 yards. I not scared to take that risk, especially with how how bad the Broncos are at covering tight ends. Sutton for 7 again, something I really like there. I can't quit Tyler Warren. I really can't. Targets at 6. I just can't hit it, especially with Philip Rivers now being the quarterback. I think he's going to have a check down option. And how many more? I got a few more. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get JSN in here. Don't think that's crazy either. 2 more. So that should do it out of that slate. Carolina, New Orleans. Okay. Yeah. I still think he gets his rushing yards, and I really do think Shuck gets 2 passing touchdowns. Put $5 in there. $5 on a flex for $617 payout. Let's go ahead and confirm that. Ah, damn it. Thought they'd let me use it twice. Those dicks. Okay. Bonus funds, $5 for $354. Lock that in. Okay, so this is the afternoon slate here. That one feels a little more risky. I can't explain why, but that one definitely feels a little more risky. So let's go ahead. Let's finish out with the Minnesota-Dallas game. I like both these receivers. I really do. Even though they are very stingy in the pass game, I still think they're going to get their share. This offense is very, very good. Cowboys defense is god-awful, but the problem is that so is the Vikings quarterback situation. But Jefferson still should get his in this situation. Let's go ahead and get his higher on targets. Let's see, it's JJ. Okay. This could be a get-right game for him, honestly, with a team that gives up so many points to the quarterback position. So let's go ahead and take a risk there. 194 for him. Again, stingy defense against the wide receiver. They're going to have to throw the ball. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Literally, I think that's it. I think those would be my 4. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's finish this out with building our big ticket. Every game is available in the slate, so let's go ahead and build it here. See what we've got for the weekend. Where to start? It's how much I like to play. It's really how much I like to play. I'm double dipping here. I usually try to diversify my portfolio a little bit here, but 16 yards just seems way too achievable here for Luke Musgraves in this game. I could be jinxing him, cursing him, everything to that degree, but I like it too much. Didn't even talk about Nico. 9 targets. I like it. I do. I like that one a lot. We already got Hendrickson there. So I like that. Baltimore, Cincinnati. Lines are changing. Oh, dear God. The Burrow, 260. I like it. Let's get him in there. Okay. 3 morning games. $239 for Mahomes. I like that. Again, he's going to put a lot on his back this week. It is do or die for them. They need to be the ones who take it into their own hands and finish the job. A.J. Brown on targets. Again, I really like that line. I'm trying not to double dip and diversify here, but I may double dip on a couple because there are some here that are just, I like them way too much. Like Gentee. I can't quit this. I really like Gentee's targets at 6. With how weak Philadelphia is at protecting the running back, with how much they've checked down to him, with how cold it's going to be in Philly today, snowing. Checking down just seems like it's going to be that option here. 2 more. It's making me hesitant to pull the trigger. It really is. Because I think he gets in the end zone. I do. Played in Green Bay. Hates Detroit. I think that happens. All right. Last one. Hard to say. Hard to say. Hard to say. I think he gets in the end zone. Nah, I don't want to double dip on the end zone. Let's get his yards. I'll take his yards. I think that's definitely doable. I hate double dipping touchdowns because that just feels like I have to be Nostradamus and predict everything. All right, so let's go ahead. Put that in. Our full big ticket for $259 is there. That is what we're looking at here, boys. So let me know how you guys do today. Go ahead and follow me on X at _Justin_sports. I have a lot of fun there. I talk a lot of shit, troll a lot, but I will be updating what my picks do, how I did on my picks from there. So if you want to know, follow me there. Make sure you hit a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out here. I know it's been a few weeks since I've done anything, but I'm going to be producing more videos now that I've relocated to my father-in-law's for the time being. So just go ahead, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know how you guys do. And until the next one, have a good one.